Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe.
This is what your dog's behaviors should tell you. Dogs have a different way of seeing the world compared to human beings. As a result of this, they heavily rely on their body language to pass their different messages across to people. Watch this video until the end, to find out more on what your dog is trying to tell you. You will be shocked at some of these signs from your dog because, believe it or not, there are some that you would have never thought of. But before I proceed, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell down below so you will be notified and updated on my next videos. Raising their paws. When you see your dog raising its paw, it's a sign that they want to play or simply need something from you. This is a behavior that's displayed mostly by puppies and other small dogs. Whenever puppies want to eat, they will raise their paws or put them out for their mother, so when it does the same to you, it just means they need some attention and affection. Getting all curled up. If you pay close attention to your dog, you will notice that at some point it will curl up just like a fox does. In such cases, the paws will be curled up underneath their bodies and their tail will be well wrapped around them. This shows that the dog is probably feeling cold. Curling up helps them retain more body heat, but should you see your dog curling up like this, just know that it's worth throwing a blanket over them to help them feel warmer. Eating grass. Seeing a dog eating grass is not the most unusual thing, but unfortunately this mostly means that the dog lacks an important nutrient. It could also mean that they are trying to digest their food well, considering how fibrous grass is. You should also be very careful because this could also be an indication that your dog has worms in their intestines. Eating grass could also mean that the dog is dehydrated and that they could be trying to get water from the grass. That said, if this happens a lot, take your dog to the vet because it's better to ensure their safety. Energy boosting. Although there are some dogs that enjoy baths, there aren't too many of them around. The average dog does not like taking a bath, and if you notice that your dog likes to run around the house like it's crazy after one, they didn't like the bath. Many dogs really hate being wet, and running so energetically is a way for them to dry faster. Standing on hind legs. When you notice your dog standing on its hind legs, it could mean several different things. In most cases, it means your dog is trying to show affection. Similar to human beings, sometimes your dog just wants to hug you. However, when they do this around other dogs, it's just a sign that they want to play around. So, as long as they are standing on their hind legs without getting aggressive, they are just being playful. Chewing your furniture. When puppies start teething, they start chewing things around. Chewing these things could also be a sign of something else in case you have a dog that is not a puppy. Relax though, it's nothing bad. It just means that they have not been getting as much physical activity as their body needs. You can easily help them out in this situation by taking them out for a nice walk or helping them exercise in some other way. Their way of barking. Dogs bark for different reasons. If you notice them barking very often and loudly, just know that it's probably for an urgent reason. Maybe they have sensed some danger around and are trying to inform you about it. It could also be a sign that they are in some kind of pain. On the flip side, when the barks are shorter and also softer, they probably just want to play around. Pay close attention so that you understand exactly what is wrong with them. Keeps bringing toys. Your dog bringing you toys is not always a sign that they want to play. It could just be a way for them to try and please you. Dogs usually look at you as the alpha, and as such, they feel the need to give you respect. It is also a sign of the trust they have in you that makes them give you that very valuable object. Another sign could be that the dog loves you enough to give you something they consider a very prized possession. That's why when they do this, you should not throw the toy away, as you will end up hurting their feelings. When they yawn. Normally, a human being will yawn when they are either bored or sleepy. However, a dog will yawn as a sign that they feel safe and very secure where they are. Yawning is a sign of submission, and if they do this countless times, it just shows how relaxed they are. On the flip side, yawning countless times could just mean that they are stressed or are anticipating something. If you spot your dog yawning severally at the vet's office, it could just show that they are nervous. If they yawn so many times before going out on a walk, they could be trying to maintain their enthusiasm, but just like human beings, it could be a sign that they feel tired. Like caterpillars. Every dog lover likes to see their dog all wiggly, kicking their legs up and playing around. Sometimes a dog will wiggle on its back in an attempt to scratch itself when it's feeling a bit itchy. In other cases, it could just be a way for them to gain your attention. As such, it's worth giving them exactly what they need, that is love and attention. Before you leave, it's quite normal for a pet lover to feel guilty about leaving their pet at home when going to work or somewhere else. Some pet owners will even prefer to pay for dog daycares so that they feel less guilty. When you see your dog making sad faces while you are about to step out, it could be exactly what you are already thinking. It feels sad. That said, don't worry too much because your little pet knows very well that you are not gone forever. You will definitely be back, and that face is interestingly also a sign of trust. Back and forth pacing. The reason why your dog keeps pacing around is because for some reason it feels nervous, bored, and in some cases excited, just like we human beings do. Whenever they go round in circles, it could just mean they want you to play with them. Notice that this is the same way dogs go after one another whenever they meet, so it could be the dog just being playful. Pointing to their snout. Have you ever spotted a dog freezing up and nudging its snout in some direction? They could even end up lifting a paw while they do this. It's a behavior that's very common, especially among hunting dogs, but other breeds can also do them. According to Dr. Ellen Vindel, a dog is just a dog, and as such there are certain behaviors that any dog can have just provided it is a dog. You will often see a sports dog that circles similarly to a herding one and vice versa. Showing discomfort. Aside from the fact that dogs could use their yawning to show comfort, their yawns could also mean something else. It could mean that the dog is really exhausted and ready to have a nice afternoon nap. It could also be a sign of anxiety and a feeling of discomfort. Be on the lookout for this behavior, especially if you go with your dog to an unfamiliar place. Tilting their heads. When people are talking to dogs, they subconsciously end up speaking in a higher pitch. It is when you do this that you might notice your dog tilting its head. They do this in an attempt to understand what you are trying to tell them. Dogs have a great way of reading different body language and responding to vocal cues. Dogs have a way of taking all your reprimanding or instructions and praises too. They recognize specific words, especially those associated with treats they love or walks. A certain theory states that dogs will move their heads in that manner as a way of adjusting their louder ears so that they can listen better. Sniffing around. Dogs have noses that are great for so many things. While we human beings have 5 million different olfactory receptors, dogs have 220 million. As you can imagine, they are able to smell 1,000 times better. When you spot a dog sniffing around, they have either sensed danger or something to eat. Usually, the dogs will remain still and silent while doing this. They are able to differentiate individuals' smells and those from other different dogs. Believe it or not, they are also very good at telling identical twins apart. Flipping their tongues. When a dog thinks they did something they shouldn't have, they might resort to sticking their tongue out and flipping it up as a way of apologizing to you. Yes, dogs also feel guilty for doing something wrong every once in a while. It's also their way of putting on that cute and innocent face. After all, you cannot resist such a cute face. You can expect to see this especially when the dog pees on the floor. Just like yoga, unlike human beings, dogs do not just stretch when they wake up. They do so to keep their muscles comfortable. Stretching is also a sign of their love. When you go back home in the evening and your dog starts stretching, just know that they are happy to see you. Exposing their belly. Believe it or not, when your dog decides to show you his belly, it just means he feels respectful and submissive towards you, or that they really want to play with you. The best way to respond to such an action from your dog is by rubbing its belly. Your dog will feel good when you do this, so they will keep exposing their belly, expecting you to rub them again and again. However, they also do this when they have been attacked by another animal. Tucking their tail in. When you see your dog tucking his tail between his legs, they could be in distress. Maybe they are scared, feeling guilty, nervous, unsure about something, or ashamed for some reason. The best way to react to this is to comfort your dog and assure them of their safety. Give the dog some treats or just pet him, and ensure you use a soft voice to talk to them. Dragging their bum. When a dog starts to drag its bum, It may look a little funny, but you should actually be concerned instead of laughing. This action is referred to as snooting, and it happens whenever a dog wants to release an impacted anal sac. There are specific dog breeds that suffer from this more than others. It can be very uncomfortable for them, so ensure you take the dog to the vet as fast as possible. On your feet. Dogs like to lay on people's feet during dinner time or when people are watching TV. This could get a bit annoying, but keep in mind that they don't mean to offend you. It's just their way of showing you some loyalty and how close they want to get to you. This is a behavior that they obtained from their ancestors long ago when dogs used to run as packs. Leaning on you. You should feel flattered when a dog leans on you while it's hanging around the place. To the dog, this is equal to a hug, so don't take it as them being lazy. They just want to connect with you, so the next time your dog does this, do not be so quick to nudge them. Just allow them to show their affection in this way. Tackling you. It has never been comfortable to get tackled for whatever reason, and you could have ended up being hurt in the past. Thanks to this kind of tackling. However, this is not a sign that a dog wants to hurt you. In fact, it is one of their ways of showing how happy they are to see you. They've probably been waiting for you to return and cannot contain just how excited they feel. Flicking ears. When you see a dog flicking its ears, just know it's listening keenly to you. If anything, this is a very common behavior among many different animals. It happens when they are unfamiliar with a certain sound and are trying to figure the sound out. So when you see this, just allow your dog to figure out things slowly for a second. After all, it's very nice to have a dog that is observant. Licking themselves clean. It's no secret that a dog cleans its body by licking itself. Sure, when dogs feel dirty they will do their best to lick their bodies, but there could be another reason for their doing this. It could be a sign that they are hurt. Licking their paws or even legs is an indication that they need to take a trip to the vet. Do this because it's better to ensure their safety than wait for things to get too serious. Snarling and showing teeth. There are various ways in which dogs show their different moods. These moods may not always be positive ones. In some cases, they will wrinkle their muzzle as a sign of some aggression. If you see your dog snarling or showing their teeth, the best thing for you to do is remove the dog from that situation. This is because the dog could be very ready to attack. Time for investigation. Whenever you're out for a walk and your dog halts suddenly then raises a foot, it doesn't mean they are hurt. It is just a way to show that they're trying to fully understand something that has caught their attention. Their brains at such moments are at work, and well, they also sniff around a lot when they are trying to play detective. A straightened tail. When you see a dog's tail in the air, that dog probably feels very excited or confident about something. Dogs will often do this when they meet a fellow dog or another animal. If their tail is shaky and remains up, the dog probably just feels challenged in a way. Whenever a dog is content, their tail is always leveled with their body. However, if the tail is hanging low, this shows some kind of insecurity. The side tongue. Dogs often look so cute when they hang their tongues outside their mouths. It's a sign of calmness and happiness. This will often happen when you go out and play fetch or when you are out for a walk. That said, their doing this excessively simply shows that they have hanging tongue syndrome, a common thing with bulldogs, dogs that have flat noses, or even boxers. Digging holes. When your dog starts to dig around, it does not have evil intentions. It's more of an instinct thing that's just in their DNA, especially if the dog is of a terrier breed. They just dig in the yard so that they can leave their toys or bones and other things they consider valuable in these holes. They also do this to bury the dead or to look for their prey.
Thanks for watching.